you doing, everybody? This is JD Lewis coming at you with Untamed Conversations. I was supposed to have a guest tonight, but they ended up getting sick. No fault of their own. So basically what I want to do is pretty much like a 10, maybe 12-minute intro, introduce myself, introduce everything that I'm going to be doing, and just let you listen. And it's going to be more of an open-ended kind of dialogue here where when I post this to my social media and my accounts, I want you to be able to answer, ask questions, and come on the show. So here we go. My name is JD Lewis, born and raised in Milford, Connecticut. I'm sorry, I was born in New Haven, grew up in Milford, Connecticut. I'm 35 years old, happily married. I have a 9-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old dog named Buster, who is amazing. And yes, he is named Buster after Paul Walker in Fast and the Furious. So, on that note, let's kick this off and let's have a good Friday night. Pretty much, for me, the reason I wanted to do this podcast is because I feel there are so many people out there, whether it be men, women, kids, adults, everybody. They don't have that lifeline to talk to. They don't have that out. You could talk to your wife. You can talk to your husband. You can talk to your friends. But sometimes you just want to let it out and speak on what you're going through. Because at the end of the day, in the last 3, 4, 5 years, none of us are okay. We all might act like it deep down inside, but there has been so much we've all gone through. Whether it be COVID, life, death, money, jobs, relationships. And we're going to key in on that one, relationships, because it seems to me like relationships are the big thing right now that a lot of people are having issues with. Some people are happy, some people aren't. Some people are together that aren't happy. Some people are single, but they know they should be with somebody else, and vice versa. So we're going to get into that at another time. I have a guest coming on the show to talk about that. They've been through it. But what I really want to kind of get into now is just, like I said, explain who I am. Athlete growing up, since Little League, Junior Majors. I played in the Junior Major World Series in Texas. I played with some good players. You might know one, Max Catapano, who actually ended up playing for the Seattle Mariners. We grew up together. We went to the World Series together in Little League, Junior Majors. Good friend, great person. So I was always kind of looked at as you having fun, doing things that kids do. And I was in the, sorry, I'm getting a little choked up. It's every time I think about it, it sometimes brings me back. I was in the garage. I was in the garage taking 150 to 200 swings a night, throwing, getting grounders, getting pop flies, pitching. And I loved it. It was great. But at the same time, it's something that I realize now that maybe I missed out on a lot with my friends in the neighborhood. Growing up on a cul-de-sac, all my friends always, hey, can JD come out and play? Can JD do this? No. JD has to do his swings first. JD has to practice first. JD has to this first. And that's something where, listen, at the end of the day, I'm not complaining. I grew up a very nice life. I traveled and played baseball all over the world. It was wonderful. But sometimes I feel like the pressure was all over me, and it was always on my shoulders, and I just had to get it done. And I feel like when I stopped playing baseball, that's when I became I don't want to say an outsider to my family, but that's when I kind of became somebody who, okay, well, now you're not playing baseball. You better figure out what the fuck you want to do. And again, excuse my language, but I told you this is no holds barred. I'm going to say whatever the hell I want. So that was my childhood growing up. Again, I grew up great. My parents were great, but I also grew up with something on my shoulder where it said, listen, you need to do this. You need to be this. This is what you're going to do. And if you don't do it, well, you better figure something out to do because, we're not handling it. It's on you. And if you can't handle it, then you better figure something else out because, you were supposed to be a ball player. You were supposed to be this. And I think a lot of people relate with that now. I think a lot of people are, I guess you can say, maybe thinking that, what did I do wrong? Why does my family, why am I the blackball of the family? Why am I the black sheep? Why am I this? Why am I that? And I think that a lot of people in my age group, 35 and older, maybe a little bit younger, go through that where you were supposed to be something and now you're not. And for me, I look back and I'm like, you know what? I might not be playing baseball, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't have my daughter. I wouldn't have my life. I wouldn't have my family. That's more important to me than anything else. Would it have been cool to make millions of dollars? Of course it would. Everybody wants to make millions of fucking dollars. I'm not doing that. I'm enjoying my family, my health, and I'm enjoying just being a normal person like everybody else. And that's kind of that's the insight to my life. I'm going to give you, that's just a little bit, that's the tidbit of what I'm going through. I have a lot more, but I'm waiting for these people to come on the podcast so we can get into detail and we can talk about this. And as I got older, I realized that, you know what? This is on me. I don't have anybody taking care of me. I have friends and family, and that's fine, that have been taken care of forever. They never have to look over their shoulder and say, where am I getting my next dollar from? Because they're fine. I work my ass off for what I have. And the guest tonight was supposed to be my wife, Tara, who was unfortunately sick, but I owe a lot to her. That woman brought me everything I could possibly ask for and think of in a woman, and gave me pretty much the reason to keep going. Like, I had some very dark days. I had some moments where I didn't know if I was going to make it through the night. And yeah, that sounds terrible to hear, but yeah, it was true. There were times where I said to myself, you know what? You're better off. Maybe these people are better off without you. They don't need you here. And that was something I never told anybody. But again, like I said, this podcast, everything is coming out. I'm going to say exactly how I feel at every moment, and I just wanted people to know that it's okay to feel that way. You can come out of the dark. You can make it. You can look up and say, you know what, fuck you, and fuck you. I did this. I made it. I didn't have any help. That's a huge thing, and I want everybody to focus on that. And like I said, there's a lot of podcasts out here. Everybody has this. Everybody has that. I'm not looking to be rich. I'm not looking to be famous. What I'm looking for is for one of my friends or one of my family members or even somebody I don't know to reach out and say, your podcast saved my life. Your podcast made me go see a therapist. Your podcast made me realize that I have so much more to do in this world that I'm not ready to go. That is my big reason for doing this. And I cannot wait, like I said, to have more people on, have them talk about what they want to talk about. But that's just more of the basis of this conversation, this podcast, and where we're going with this. Mental health is real, people. And as much as you don't want to admit it, you might be too strong, you might be too tough, you might be this, you might be that. Cut the bullshit. We are all suffering in some sort of way. The last 3 or 4 years really messed everybody up, okay? Nobody's perfect. At one point during COVID, I drank too much. Yeah, I did, because I didn't know what else to do. You step outside, they're like, you're going to die. You go to the store, you're going to die. You don't get the COVID booster, whatever, you're going to die. I didn't know what to do. So what did I do? I drank whiskey. I hung out. I relaxed. But the one thing I always did was I made sure I was a good father, and I was always present. And that's something that I think that a lot of people need to focus on. Whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you own a house, whether you rent, if your family is healthy, your children are healthy, you're doing something right. And that's something that it took me many, many years to understand. If your family is healthy, and your family is provided for, you have food on the table, you have a roof over your head, you made it. You made it. There's literally nothing else that you need to do. Your family made it. And I'm going to make sure for the rest of my life that my daughter is always taken care of. And she has everything that she wants, everything she needs, and everything that I didn't have. And again, like I said, I grew up with things. My family took care of me. But at one point, somebody flipped a switch and said, you know what? Fuck you, JD. You're on your own. You figure it out. And you know what I did? I figured it out. And that's where I am now. So, again, I just want to let everybody know this podcast is going to have a lot involved. There might be some episodes that people are like, you know what, this isn't for me. I don't want to listen to it. Then there might be other ones where you're like, you know what, holy shit, this is me. Like, I can relate to this. And I think that if you can relate to 1, 2, 3 things I'm saying, then I did my job. You know, I have so many people that I've talked to and so many people that can't wait to be on here. So many people that can't wait to just let their voice be heard because they are scared to let things out in public. We're going to take care of you. We're going to figure it out. And you are going to be the right person for this show. I don't want anybody to be scared. You step up. Trust me when I tell you, nothing is going to throw me for a loop. I have been through the ringer. There are things that later in these podcasts we're going to get into, and you're going to say, oh my God, JD, I can't believe you made it out. And I did. I made it out. And I think for 35 years old, I'm doing pretty damn well, you know. Great marriage. I bought a house. I got a beautiful daughter. I have friends and family that love me. And I am that guy that'll go to the end of the earth for everybody. No matter what you do. You could have hurt me, but I will be there for you if you need something. So, again, like I said, I just wanted to throw this first one out there. Let everybody know what we're going to talk about, what we're going to be about. And this is what we're doing. This is Untamed Conversations. You got something you want to talk about, please reach out and I will get you on this show. Also, when I post this to my social medias, please leave comments. Talk about how you feel. Let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know what you want me to talk about, and I'll make sure we do it. Again, everybody have a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you soon. Get ready for my next episode, which will have a guest, and we're going to get this shit kicked off. Let's do it. Untamed Conversations with JD Lewis.